Peace. I got another hip hop rant that I'm gonna talk about. This is part two. I hope you enjoyed the first one. This is kind of a continuation of this shit because I said that I didn't know what to talk about, so a couple other things came up. Another thing that I'm gonna talk about Southern hip hop. Ooh. I know it'll be like, oh, this guy, this New York dude, oh, Southern hip hop. I know his intake. Let me cut that out. Let me kill that noise. First and foremost, all right. I'm an East Coast dude. I'm a New York hip hop head. I grew up in New York, but I also grew up to listen to other fucking hip hop from different regions, such as the West Coast, Midwest, the South, and the East Coast, of course. Not to say that New York didn't have whack rappers, because they really do. Because a lot of these dudes that's out now, like Jim Jones and Joel Santana and those guys, those dudes are garbage, man. I can't stand those dudes, man. And another thing that pisses me off too is like, before I get back to the let me get to the southern part. All right, southern hip hop, I like it. There's a couple hip hop MCs from the south that I do like. Don't get it twisted. But you got cats that are from the south that's popping right now, like Lil Wayne, Waka Flocka, Gucci Man or Gucci Mane, however the fuck you say his name. Young Jeezy, Rick Ross, and those motherfuckers that people take seriously are fucking garbage, man. And they to me are like a bad representation to the south, in my opinion, because there's tons of dope MCs out, but those MCs don't get a lot of play. They don't get played on the radio because they are themselves. They're not like these fraudulent ass niggas that I mentioned before. For example, some of my favorite, I like Outkast, but before they started doing that crazy weird shit like the speaker love below, speaker box love below bullshit that they were doing, and the newest shit they were doing, I'm a fan of Outkast from like the ATLian days, the Southern playlist, the Cadillac music. I like the Ghetto Boys, Scarface, Gangsta Nip. Yes, I know about Gangsta Nip. When he was known as when he's known as the South Park Psycho. K Reno, who's been in the game since like the late '80s. He's like a hip hop legend in the South from Houston, Texas. He doesn't get a lot of recognition. I like Jay Electronica. I like Currency from New Orleans. I like who else? This mad heads I like. The whole Dungeon family, like CeeLo and Goody Mob and all those cats I like. I even like 3 6 Mafia. Even though they can't rap for shit, but the way they flip their samples is fucking unbelievable. Like how DJ Paul or Juicy J flip their samples, and the beats that they have some ill beats. I'm not really feeling the stuff they put out now. I like the stuff they did back in the early to like late '90s, cause this shit was like more grimy and dark. You know what I mean? I miss those days, like that whole Prophet Posse, movement. You know what I mean? I like that. You know what I'm saying? So I like Little Brother from North Carolina. I like the whole Jamla crew from North Carolina. I like them. They're from North Carolina. I like Cunnilingus, who's from Kentucky. That's the South. You know what I mean? I like Clips from Virginia, even though they're from New York. But even though I'm not feeling the stuff they're putting out now, the stuff before I did like, but I'm not their biggest fan. But they put out some ill shit. Believe it or not, I liked Cash Money back in the day. And let me point this out too, because I know where you're going with this. Oh, well, you see, you like Lil Wayne, blah blah. Yes, I never liked Lil Wayne, although I did like him on like other people's shit, like when he was doing the whole Hot Boys. I Need a Hot Girl, like that shit was fire. Who else? BG and Juvenile, who I thought were the best ones in the whole group, in my opinion, because they were some real ass niggas. Like they fucking, the shit that they were talking about, they were doing, especially BG, who's locked up for 10 years from what I've read. Hold your head up. Who else? I like Mystical when he was No Limit. Very underrated artist. He's pretty ill. Man, I could go on. You guys see what I'm talking. Pastor Troy from Atlanta. Trick Daddy. But his early stuff, like the www.thug.com, all that shit. I like that stuff. That's the Trick Daddy I like. You know. So for you guys to say, for you guys that are gonna come and say, you ain't on hip hop, Southern hip hop, nah, that's, you know, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, moving on. Oh yeah, like I said, a lot of these dudes like Rick Ross and uh, they make a bad representation of the South, and it's fucked up because those MCs that I mentioned don't really get the recognition that they deserve. Oh, even Devin the Dude from Houston, Texas, fucking very underrated artist. You know what I mean? So that's that from on the southern tip. So yes, I am East Coast biased, but I do listen to other hip hop from other regions too. And I just mentioned some of my favorite MCs from the South. Okay, another thing that pisses me off about hip hop today: white MCs that always get compared to Eminem. Nothing worse than being compared to MC. I fucking hate that shit. Like, why can't nobody be themselves? Like, for example, there's certain rappers I listen to that are white and they're dope. They're fucking hot. They put out some ill shit. But I do have some friends that anytime I play music for them, like around them, it's automatic. He sounds like Eminem. He sounds like Eminem. He sounds like Eminem. As if Eminem was the first white rapper to come out. He wasn't. It was the Beastie Boys. And Beastie Boys are fucking hip hop pioneers. But they don't get the recognition that they deserve. They get respect, but they don't get respect, if you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? They're just as hip hop. Yeah, a lot of the music is rock infused, but it's still hip hop. You know what I mean? It was something new. It was something original. You can't knock them. Actually, two of my favorite albums from Beastie Boys, Check Your Head and Ill Communication. A lot of people say Paul Revere and License to Ill. Those albums were ill, but Check Your Head and Ill Communication to me were the very slept on albums, in my opinion. Who else? Man, it's like, yeah, that pisses me off too. And it's like, there's people that I've met, like white people that I've met, that they'll say they don't like rap, they don't listen to hip hop, but they'll listen to Eminem. That right there pisses me off too, because it shows that their ignorance towards hip hop is like, Eminem was not the first white rapper to rap. Like I said, it was the Beastie Boys, and some of my favorite MCs are white. I like Necro, who I will get into in a minute. I like Remedy from Wu-Tang, Jewish rapper. I know that sounds very ignorant, but the Jewish rapper from Wu-Tang. Action Bronson. Man, to name a few, I have so much people that I like that, it's hard for me to put it out. By the way, Mac Miller sucks ass. I had to put that out there. Sorry. Who else? Yeah, so like the thing with Necro, a lot of people don't give Necro credit because first of all, he's a veteran in my eyes, in my opinion. He doesn't get a lot of respect that he deserves because of the shit that he talks about. Okay, he's been in the game since the late 80s. Nobody would give him a chance because of the shit that he rapped about. He talked about death and blah 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 and all that crazy shit. But then you have someone like Eminem that raps about the same shit, but he's more accepted, which is kind of fucked up. And it's like Eminem and Necro grew up in the hood. He grew up in Brooklyn in the projects. Eminem did it. He grew up in the trailer park trash. He was hooked up on. He got bullied. There's certain things that people could relate to Eminem than they could with Necro. People that grew up in the hood could relate to Necro more so than people that grew up in the suburbs could relate to Necro. You understand? People that live in the suburbs could relate to Eminem more than they could with Necro because they didn't grow up in a hood. You know what I'm saying? Like Eminem, he was addicted to pills and he got bullied and shit like that. The bullying part, that's a universal thing. That's not really a color thing. That's a universal thing. Cause I got bullied too, but the difference was when I got bullied, I fought back. A lot of these kids today, I hate to say it, but they're pussy in my opinion because they don't fight back. You need to learn how to fight. You know what I mean? Like, and these bullies are pussies themselves because, you're gonna pick on somebody weaker than you, but then somebody, but always remember, there's always somebody stronger than you and more meaner than you. You know what I mean? So, parents, fucking indulge your kids to karate classes, self-defense classes, or something. Put them to box or something because all this like blaming Facebook for you know kids killing themselves gotta stop because Facebook has nothing to do with it. That's like saying like, oh, somebody gets hit by an Acura Legend or something, you're gonna blame Acura for the car accident. Nah, it's the person that's driving the car you have to blame. You know what I mean? So same concept, the whole Facebook thing. But I'm going out of topic. But yeah, so bottom line is Necro, I feel like deserves a lot of credit. You know what I mean? He's definitely a very talented artist. He makes his own beats. He has his own record label by choice. You know what I mean? And I'm glad he did it that way because he gets to put out shit however form that he wants, when he wants, how he wants it, and much respect to him for that. You know what I mean? And matter of fact, look out for his Murder Murder Kill Kill EP coming out in December, and he's also coming out with a collab album with one of my favorite MCs, Coogee Rap, called I think The Godfathers, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what it's called, but look out for that. That shit's gonna be fire. I know that for sure because Negro has been dubbed as the White Coogee Rap, and I can see why because of his lyrical wordplay and the lisp that he has, and it's very, reminiscent of Coogee Rap. You know what I mean? Nothing too, man, that pisses me off. Again, I said the auto tune shit again, and it's not just in hip hop; it's in every genre. To the point I hear it in dancehall, I hear it in reggaeton, which I'm not a big fan of reggaeton. Let me put that out there. And reggaeton started in Panama, okay, not in Puerto Rico. Yeah, Puerto Rico and Cuba, like those countries, they in Dominican Republic, they they mastered it, but it started in Panama and in Costa Rica too. Because I remember hearing in Costa Rica back in '97, the reggaeton that I heard had like a more, it was just like dancehall, like Jamaican dancehall, but in Spanish. The production was Jamaican reggae dancehall influence, but it was just in Spanish. That's it, and that's real reggaeton, not the shit that you hear now. And that's just my opinion. So all you people that come up here and talk about I know my shit, I know my history, and El General, okay. So I know my shit. Yeah, man, shit. There's like so much shit that I'm gonna talk about. Yeah. So the white MCs, pretty much the comparison with Eminem, which pisses me off because there's a whole bunch of white MCs that's ill, but they will never get recognized because of Eminem. Not to say Eminem he's very talented. I'm not knocking Eminem. I like Eminem, but I'm not the biggest fan. I'm a fan of Eminem back in like the Eminem from the mid '90s to 2001. That's the Eminem I like. The Eminem now kind of really sucks. Like I didn't care for Encore. I thought that was his worst album. Didn't like Recovery. I didn't like Relapse. All that shit was garbage in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Another thing too about Eminem that kind of I have a beef with Eminem with. I feel like the whole Slim Shady thing, it was cool, but it's kind of a gimmick in my opinion because like when you came out with 8 Mile, you wasn't doing that. You was rapping. You was hungry. You wasn't doing this crazy shit that you do now. You dissing celebrities that are not gonna respond back to you. You know what I mean? Why don't you do that to real MCs to get some competition? You know what I mean? Like how you did with cannabis back in the late 90s with the rap Olympics. Once you do that, that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, and like the whole, and I understand like he was addicted to he had a little depression, and I'm glad he got out of that. And then he was addicted to pills and all that shit, the sleeping pills, excuse me. Um, I understand he was going through a little depression, whatever, from his friend Proof. God rest his soul. Definitely underrated MC from Detroit, but he's not addressing the issue of pill addiction. He's not doing that. I don't see him doing that. I don't see him putting on other artists like from Detroit, because there's a whole bunch of MCs from Detroit that are hungry, are ill. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That's just me though. You know what I mean? But that's it. That's all I could think of on top of my head. And the auto-tune shit, that shit gotta stop, man. If you're gonna sing, fucking sing. Like Fonte said in the interview, the reason why he didn't like Kanye's 808 and Heartbreak's album is because the whole auto-tune shit, like I said in my first rant, it's just a crutch for motherfuckers to make money. That's it, and it's true. If you're gonna sing, sing. That's it. Nobody's perfect. Yeah, people get crackle in their voice. That's nothing. Every singer have vocal coaches for. That's what they have them for. To practice their fucking the voice. The exercise, I guess you want to call it. You know what I mean? But that's just me. You know what I mean? I'm all for good music. You know what I mean? But that's just me. Call me hater. All the people that's gonna call me a hater, fuck you in advance. Suck a dick. Motherfuckers having paper thin skin and shit like that, can't even take an opinion. Because nowadays people, and that's another thing I want to address too, haters. That word hate has to be omitted in people's vocabulary. Just because I don't like a certain thing, that's in the norm right now, because a lot of shit that's out now, I'm not feeling it. I'm just keep it real with you. Because I grew up in an era where a lot of people had passion in their music. I'm just a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a music fanatic. You know what I mean? I love this shit. It's like how people are obsessed with football and they're fans of football and basketball and they know the history. Which, by the way, I wish I had the knowledge of that, but I really don't care about sport. I'm not a sports person. Like most people that I know, I wish I had that knowledge, but I don't, unfortunately. But I do have the knowledge of music. But getting back to the hate and shit, like, because I'm not a fan of the stuff that's out now, like the whole autotune or like some of the southern rappers. I'm not feeling that shit. I don't like Drake. I don't like these fucking motherfuckers that are just in the limelight just for the money, and it shows too. And because I don't like something, it makes me a hater, and that fucking pisses me off. Once you say the word hate, I don't wanna have a discussion with you, because it shows your ignorance. It shows your ignorance fucking reeks, and I can see it, man. Because you can't even have a fucking real conversation with people like that. You know what I mean? Once they use the word hate, because they know they're losing the argument, so they're like, "Oh, you a hater? Nah." Hating to me, like my man Mike Seatown said in Dead End Hip Hop. Shout out to them. I'll post a link to their website. To the YouTube link. He said hating is when he said it the best. I'm gonna paraphrase what he said. Pretty much he was saying that hating is when you hate on something and you have no foundation. You have no reason why to hate on them. Like for example, like, oh, just because somebody's from Atlanta, you're gonna automatically hate on them. That's fucked up. That's hating. You shouldn't do that, because there's a lot of MCs from Atlanta that's ill but don't get a lot of recognition. You know what I'm saying? And that goes with everything too. Another thing that pisses me off is New York MCs trying to rap like they're from the South. Pisses me off. Why are you doing that? You're a New Yorker. rap like a New Yorker. Stop doing this fucking swag shit. That shit is killing me. That word swag needs to be omitted. Swag, you know what swag is? Swag is dirt weed. You know, all you weed heads know what I'm talking about. I don't smoke weed, but I know about that shit. Like where, you have the fucking stems and the little pebbles and shit like that. That's swag. You know what I'm saying? So that word needs to be omitted in people's dictionary. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, back to the New York MCs, man. Like again, like I said about the veterans, because they know that they see what's going on TV, because the South is running shit right now. Because like I said, I'm not the biggest Southern hip hop fan, but I do have some of my favorite MCs come from the South. But it's unity. They unite with each other. Unlike New York MCs. New York MCs are all about, yo, I'm the king of New York bullshit, blah blah. Let me tell you something. There is no king in New York. The only king in New York right now is Bloomberg. He's running shit. So unless you got Bloomberg money, you ain't the king of New York. Sorry, sorry. Unless you have the power to create jobs or shit like that, you're not the king of New York. Sorry, sorry to say. Um, People are too afraid to be themselves. Why? I don't understand that. Hip hop, to me, in my opinion, I feel like music is supposed to be a reflection of yourself. So in other words, be yourself, be imaginative, be original. But everyone want to chase the money. Who people rap about who fucks the most bitches, who has the most money, who owns the most cars. But once that shit is gone, are people gonna feel you? Like, are people gonna check for you? Nah, I don't think so. You know what I mean? And it's sad, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? New York rappers, stop rapping like you're from the South, because you're not. You're from New York. Rap like you're from New York, and let's stop with this beef and shit, this ego tripping shit, and let's unite, man. And then once that happens, yo, New York will be unstoppable. But until we stop all this beefing and all that shit, and Twitter too, all that Twitter shit, like nobody's. If somebody has a problem with people nowadays, it seems like they go on Twitter. I'm like, what the fuck are you? Like, females do shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, you're not a female, dude. Like, if you have something to say it. Put it on a wax. Keep it real, son. You know what I'm saying? Like they did back in the 80s and 90s. Keep it funky. But motherfuckers, man, they started feeling like females and like, like, come on, dude. Like, kind of whack, yo. That's why I don't have a Twitter. I don't plan on getting one either. That's just my opinion. Yes, Twitter is good for like, it's good to know certain things, because there's certain things that you won't be able to hear from your favorite artists unless you on Twitter. It's good for like for example, for concerts. You probably won't be able to hear it on hiphopdx.com, excuse me, but you'll hear it you'll see it on Twitter and be like, yo, I'll be at such and such place. Follow me. Cool. That's fine. That's cool. That's one good thing about Twitter, and networking too. That's another good thing about Twitter. But the whole aspect of it, I'm not really digging this shit. So, yeah, man. So, fuck swag, fuck haters, fuck people that call me haters, suck a dick. That's just my opinion. Hip hop, we need to bring it back. There's good hip hop, but you just gotta look for it. As long as you have the knowledge of everything, you should be fine. That goes with anything. And it's not just hip hop that sucks too. Even rock music sucks now. R&B sucks. Reggae sucks. Everything sucks now. So that's just my opinion. Hope you enjoyed the rant. Peace.